So, hello, here we are, Tales from the Shed.
From the sparkly shed.
From the sparkly shed. Well, this is kind of my shed. It's in the house. It's my shed.
It's your shed.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts for today?
Yeah, well, I think what we thought about talking about, I've been lent a book, and it's called Hagitude.
Okay.
Hagitude, which is a hag with attitude, which I quite like the idea of. And she talks, the author talks at the beginning about the difference between if we're an elder and how that's different from being elderly. And if you're an elderly woman, all the connotations that kind of come along with that, all the stereotypes about how that is. But if you're an elder,
you come with statesmanship.
Different things.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just kind of thought I thought that was an interesting concept.
I think it is, because I think we do tend to think of ourselves as elder, like elderly, like there's this aging thing, isn't there? There's a massive,
there is this aging thing,
and I think people put it on themselves and people give it out to others, and people do get into this aging, and then they can either avoid it or they can drift into it and over accept it.
But there's a kind of fear of being elderly, isn't there? Because an elderly person is infirm, they are, feeble, they're kind of decaying, your body's not working anymore, you're shuffling around with your kind of stick in your walker and things like that. But when you think of an elder, so people talk about an elder statesman normally, as a man, but if it's an elder stateswoman, so if it's an elder, that has that connotation of wisdom. And I think that's what we were trying to get back to in our work, to actually say, when you get into your cronehood, as I like to call it, in your third age, you should actually be that person that has that experience, that has that, the benefit of all of that knowledge.
Exactly. And I think people are nervous of it, and instead of absorbing it, I see people that almost bring it on too early, or they don't accept it. It's a very difficult place for people to feel at ease with. And I think if you were to say all of your knowledge, all of your experience, and I realize I'm getting so much older because I can remember so much more. I was thinking the other day about how much I remember, and fashions and excitement.
Well, it's like, I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and then I said, I did this, and I did the belly dancing, and I do this, and I did the research, and I did that, and she went, oh my God, that's a lot. And I'm going, well, I've had quite a long time to do it.
Yes, it's almost going back into, gosh, I know all of these songs, or I know all of this music, or I know all these different places that I've been. And you think, well, it's not that I'm so well traveled or so into music. It's more that I've just been around, and I think it's absorbing and really glorifying all of our experiences.
And actually just saying we are always that sum of our experiences. And but I think you're right, that thing when you say about people who kind of fear elderly, or they, and I noticed that, the less you do, the less you do, the less you do. And I noticed that with my mum, and she would be talking about that. And after her second hip operation, she did less and less and less and less and less. And then she became much more infirm. And then you have people that almost, like you say, are fighting it, are being determined to do it. But almost that's almost like the other side of the coin. It's people who say, oh, I'm going to take up weightlifting in my 90s.
And
why would you do that?
Or I'm going to do this because it's almost like if I do this, I can live forever and never face this time in my life.
I'm going to run them, the Marathon des Sables, or whatever it is, and that kind of stuff. And you kind of think, so neither of those, except where you are at the moment.
Neither of them are good. Although I do see people in their 50s that say, well, I can't walk like I did, and I can't, I'm very lucky to be helped around, and I can't. And it's not that they've had anything unfortunate happen. It's almost like if I bring it on early, it's almost like it's not going to shock me. It's almost so fearful. They bring it, they face it too soon.
I know.
Rather than just think, what do I live like? And
so I guess the thing that I would be saying is, I'm encouraging people out there to think about, do I feel elderly, or am I an elder?
And I think, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Absorb, look back and think of all the things you've learned, all your experiences, everything that makes you are now, and celebrate it.
Yeah. So elder women, let's go back to that and reclaim our cronehood is the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that then.
Okay, good.